Kristian. Nice to have you on our channel. Would you like to tell a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Kristian Holm. I'm the CEO of a relatively small energy company here in Norway called Røros. Obviously, this company is situated in a municipality that is called Røros, which is basically an old mining town in the middle of Norway. It's the highest locating municipality in Norway. So it's snowy here. It's winterly conditions. Quite picturesque, nice, very nice city. I recommend everybody to come visit us. It's the middle of Norway. Yeah. It's located in Trøndelag, but it's on the border to Innlandet. Yeah. I would say that this region is also quite stable. It's dry. It's obviously since it's a bit further from the coastline. It's less humid. It's colder temperatures. We are right now. I'm sitting at about 630 meters above sea level. If you want to ensure that you see some snow, you should come visit this place because we have snow. It's also a World Heritage site. The city itself has quite kind of old wooden buildings, which was kind of common for 200-300 years ago. They have taken well care of those buildings. So it's definitely, I would really recommend a visit to this region. Yes, this is from the city. This is you see a part of the old church here that's still up there. It's still standing. It's kind of watching over the city. The streets are basically like you see here. Obviously, being the head of the local power company, we have made sure that all this cablings are we have placed that into the ground, and so it's we have tidy up the streets a bit. But it's basically what you see here is what you get when you are visiting Røros. Since we are a World Heritage site, we are a part of the cities that are listed or areas that are listed on the UNESCO World Heritage sites. We have some rules and regulations that we need to adhere to in order to comply with that. Maintaining the original heritage is extremely important, but on the same side, I also need to ensure that people have electricity. You want the modern life while you're still living in old buildings. So people want, of course, hot water. They want since we are so high above sea level, temperatures can be really cold. We have periods in the winter where we have minus 30 degrees Celsius. So we need to ensure that we have heat. You can watch TV, you have internet connection, and you can live a modern, nice city as well. So you need to maintain the culture, the historical part of this while you're still modernizing and driving this forward. That's challenging, and it spurs some really good discussions from time to time.
Could you tell a little bit about your background in renewable energy?
Yeah, my main background is I've been working with renewable energy for 20-25 years, and predominantly wind, and actually offshore wind has been most of the years I've been in the renewables business. I've been working with offshore wind. I've been working in large organizations like General Electric, the Kongsberg Group here in Norway, and also before I started here at Røros, I was heading technology and supplier relations at Equinor. So the turbines you see behind me is turbines that we have used and selected for the projects, offshore wind projects for Equinor. So that's actually what I've been doing the most. Not so much heritage, not so much maintaining the old. That's been really kind of in the forefront of renewable innovation. Sitting here on a World Heritage site, it's extremely difficult to picture large wind turbines like of the type you see behind me. Maintaining the old culture, the old architecture, maintain that in some way. So when I'm thinking energy here on the mountain, I don't think wind turbines are the solutions. Onshore wind is by far the cheapest. Personally, I believe it's the best way of solving the energy challenges that we currently are seeing in Norway. But it's also people ask a question about it. They have some second thoughts when it comes to the visual impact a wind turbine can have. Some claim it also have a noise issue. I don't agree with that, but that's a subjective opinion. A lot of people currently is having, and we need to respect that. So taking that into account and combining that with the being on the World Heritage Site, wind turbines are probably not a solution I will move forward with here in this region. We are looking into solar, and we're looking into hydropower plants. We are having some hydropower plants up and running that has been running up here for decades already, and we are looking into expanding that further. Solar is also interesting. It's a bit challenging economic climate at the moment, but I think it will improve, and I think it will be increasingly more competitive going forward. Definitely something we are looking into. A third technology that we will probably do much more on energy storage and batteries, because we have another challenge here on top of the mountains, and that's we only have one connection towards the rest of the Norway when it comes to the grid, and if that connection fails, we often lose power up here. So and we have succeeded quite a bit on the industrial side here in the Røros. We have a lot of really interesting industrial businesses, which is quite process oriented, and process oriented industry is not very happy when the power suddenly disappears. That tend to really disrupt their production. So we need to be a much more focused energy company in order to ensure that they have power at all times, and when we are not quite capable of doing that, we need to ensure that we can bring down the power in a controlled way, so we don't destroy ongoing production in these process facilities. So we are really looking into the use of large battery banks, find a solution. This is a market situation. This is a market issue, basically. So if you're not having enough supply of a certain goods, for instance, milk or honey or petroleum or electricity, the prices will increase. And if the prices increases, people tend to use less of that particular goods. So if the price on milk increase, people will simply drink less milk. And we have seen that as well during the really high energy prices we saw in 2022. People started to use less electricity. And in this region, people used about 10% less electricity. And that's enough. That's good, because that means that we have enough electricity in a period with shortage. Price is an important factor in order to adjust the usage of electricity. If we have too little of it, people use less electricity. If we have too much of it, people can use a lot more. It's basically as simple as that. On the question, do we have too little electricity available in Norway or in the Western world, I would say that not really. If we are happy to increase the prices, people will use less. So we can support that, but that also has a cost. That means that you need to decrease your temperature in the home. You need to switch off a light bulb that you would like to have on. For an industry, that might be the end of that business, because they need electricity to run production, or they have to move their production to another area where electricity is cheaper. It's not as much as a discussion about what if we have too little energy, but what kind of society do you really want to thrive as a society? You need a warm house. You need a workplace that you can go to every day. You need to ensure that the hospitals have the electricity they need in order to run their operations. So as you said, electricity and energy is a crucial part of our life at the moment. But it's not, at least in Norway, we have historically had extremely low energy prices, and that's not the case anymore. The fact that we need to electrify much more of our businesses, that's a part of the climate change. All businesses need to have a plan in order to reduce their climate footprint, their CO2 footprint, and that's also a crucial part of this. So more businesses will be more relying on electrical energy. Even oil and gas business needs to rely more on electrical energy. Although they are producing a product that creates a lot of CO2 emissions when it's being used, they also need to ensure that their production is as low CO2 as possible. I think that's crucial. That's kind of the building block in order for us to meet the climate change. We need to find the right balance between new energy production in order to meet those increased need from the industries, also meet my and your demand for reasonable priced energy, and that's kind of the challenge. I'm afraid that this we are not playing a really active role in the energy space now in Norway. We are not building enough production capacity. And I think the challenge is that workplaces are being moved from certain parts of Norway already because of the lack of energy and the lack of reasonable priced energy. Just in the middle part of Norway, there are almost 20,000 projects waiting in line to grid connection. I'm pretty sure that some of these 20,000 projects has some workplaces. So if they are not being realized, those workplaces will not happen. And it's a fact that Norway hasn't been doing a lot for the last years on building new energy. So we're not really meeting the demand here. We need to rely much more on imported power over the next years in order to meet this demand. And cheap power will not competitive advantage as we historically have thought it to be. So and the grid in this picture, that's basically the vanes. That's the blood veins in our system. You need to connect this. You need to ensure that power flows to where we need it, and it needs to flow from where it's created. And also on that part, we haven't been doing a lot over the last years. We have to redeem to cover in order to ensure that we have the necessary capacity in order to transport power to the right area of where we need it. A lot of the power we are producing is being produced from the mountainsides here in Norway. A lot of the power we are consuming will be consumed on the coastal side in Norway. We need to bring those areas together, and that's the grid. And it's also, for instance, Sweden has 3 large grids going from south of Sweden to the north of Sweden. In Norway, we're not having any one. There's not a continuous grid going from Oslo to the north of Norway. So we are quite depending on Swedish infrastructure, really, in order to make our regions to kind of cooperate together. Sleeping a bit for the last years and not needing to do anything. But I really think we need to do a lot. We need to start building this. And onshore wind, hopefully offshore wind, more hydropower and solar power. I think that's the solution we need. And also we need to start building out more grid. Unfortunately, that costs money, which me and you have to pay our electrical bill. But that's a part of it. There's no other way to kind of finance this moving forward. Yeah. To answer the last question first, the possibilities are here, definitely. If you are building anything except of large hydropower plants, a private-owned company can invest in energy in Norway. No problem. The regulations are there. Larger power plants needs to, by regulation, to have public ownership, meaning power plants above 10 megawatt power needs to have 67% public ownership. So that's in place, but I don't think that the climate is very friendly. I don't think we are very open to bringing in capital from outside of Norway. It's partly a traditional thing as well. We are used to building the power plants ourselves and kind of be self-sufficient. I think we would benefit at least right now to get some foreign capital into this business as well. In general, we are quite skeptical to new power production overall. We are not too friendly with wind power. We're not friendly when it comes to hydropower. So it's we're kind of limiting our possibilities here by saying no to a lot of good projects. We need to feel the sense of urgency as well. We need to understand that we really need more power production. There's a time challenge. When you're using the example of Statkraft, I think what Statkraft is doing is that they are basically ramping up for what they believe is the future. And that's more power production. They need to modernize their hydropower plants. They are doing a lot when it comes to that already. They have some tremendous projects going on around in Norway. So I'm impressed by the work they are already doing. It takes a lot of time. Building a new hydropower plant or onshore wind power plant, it takes time, 10 years at least. So if you say go now and the municipalities agree and all the regulators agree and everything, will still take at least 7 to 10 years before that power plant is producing. It takes time to start doing something. If you're building a power grid, things might take even longer time, 10, 15 years. So even if we are saying okay to everything today, nothing will happen for several years. So that's a challenge. So things will not improve for Norway for several years, I believe. The people are extremely divided, but as always, you tend to see a few voices when it comes to social media and so on. It's not all the voices that are as vocal as others. So in the end, I think people are divided. I think a lot of people see that we need more energy, that we need to build out power plants. But we often see the voices that are most opposed to it. And it also, for politicians and people that are having a kind of a clear stance on energy, you need to be tough, because you get voices that are really not agreeing with what you're saying. But we need to acknowledge that we need more power. We need to acknowledge that we have an energy challenge in Norway, and that can only be solved by more energy production. We need to have discussions on under what terms we need to build that new energy production. I think the politicians are quite, at least a lot of them are quite, they're understanding this picture, but perhaps a bit more. We need bolder politicians as well that can really push this energy agenda forward. The discussion climate is not mature enough, in my opinion, to kind of to bring us there. But we need to slowly move in that direction. That we need to say yes to more energy production and do that, and instead have a good discussion on under what terms and conditions will this new power production happen. As I mentioned, some of the topics that we're currently working on when it comes to energy. So more hydropower. We're looking into solar, and I'm really excited to start working on the battery part as well. We also need to look more into bioenergy, biofuels. I strongly believe in that, especially here in Norway, where things the weather is cold, we need heat. So I think that's probably one interesting way to solve that. We do have a lot of forests when it comes to heating homes. But we are also kind of traditional. We have evolved into looking into IT. It's kind of a long history why it has become that way. But IT, digitalization are just as depending on us as electricity. Various data platforms like the one we're using right now, Teams, or TikTok. They need some place safe to store data and kind of operate these environments. We are moving towards artificial intelligence. We need more energy. We need more CPU power to operate this. So building data centers like EDSIVA is doing, building the infrastructure to support that, I think that's crucial. That's something we need in Norway, especially when we are so sparsely populated as we are here. We need to ensure that you can work, and you can work with high tech wherever you are living. But you still need to have the same possibilities, and we're going to move forward on an IT strategy that also supports small businesses in a world that is becoming more and more complex, both in terms of technology, politically, and also when it comes to to threats, you need to ensure that you're building a more secure environment.
A lot of elderly homes need heat, so
Mm.
you can build elderly homes and data centers together, or
Yeah,
so the elderly are kept warm at the same time. The data
yeah,
centers are protected. So I think we can look at a hybrid solution like
exactly.
that.
It's a brilliant way of solving it. Yes.